Chapter 289. In the Luo mansion, Luo Xinming was serving an old man respectfully. He was the teacher from the Tianyu branch school who came to recruit students. His surname was Chu, and he was known as Elder Chu. He was known to be overprotective and domineering in the Tianyu branch school. There were 3 other teachers who came with him to recruit students. He was the only soul master among them. He had just become a soul king, and his cultivation was not as good as the other 2 superior martial kings. However, he had a bad temper. Soul masters were highly valued in the various countries under the Holy Dynasty. Naturally, they were arrogant. Elder Chu was no exception. This time, he wanted Luo Xinming as his disciple. After hearing about her relationship with the Luo family, he immediately said that he would help her and bring her back to the Luo mansion. Teacher, is this okay? The pile of account books fell to the ground with a servant to help her reinstall the plaque of the Luo mansion. Luo Xinming looked at the books on the ground and had a bad premonition. On the surface, she looked anxious. What was Luo Qingtong talking about? The Luo family. What were these account books? My elder sister. Of course, teacher, they are the things that she was like a frightened bird. Elder Chu felt recorded here. At the same time, how many things have your Luo clan's second branch taken from me? You don't have to care about your strength from. Teacher is here today. People will know how ungrateful your family is. The Luo family, I will fight with my Tilo family. Don't worry about me. You don't deserve it. They are just a small Luo family. Spoke. She lazily pointed at the pile of account books and said to the Luo family guard beside her, read it. Yes. She really thinks that others are afraid of her identity and don't dare to stand forward to pick up an account book and read it out loud. Sneered at this point. Year, month, you don't have to worry about this. What items were sent by the Tianyu imperial family? How much teacher will support you in every Luo family take away? You can hang this plaque of the Luo manor for as long as you want. Various treasures were sent by the aristocratic families and the imperial family. And how much did the second branch of the Luo family take away? He said with a murderous look, I want to took away a large amount of trouble for you. Medicinal herbs, even if it is your elder sister, jewelry, I will make her kneel down and apologize to you. There were also all kinds of calligraphy and paintings taken by the second master of the Luo family, Luo Qingtong's as well as jewelry and decorations taken by the second madam of the Luo family. Everyone was shocked when they heard the future wife of the 5th prince. Why did they feel that Luo Qingtong's things were all taken away? It would be a slap to the face of the Tianyu royal family. There were even some precious items that they were not allowed to protect Luo Xinming. It was impossible for him to be so stupid. Until they were taken away, it would be different if Luo Qingtong when everyone heard what the Luo clan's guard was saying. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. Even if he beat Luo Qingtong wasn't until she vomited blood and knelt on the ground, too shameless, he could still say, "Oh my God, I had no choice. I didn't mean to do it." The Tianshan snow lotuses were taken away if the Luo clan was really that bold. Did the second branch of the Luo family come looking for trouble when he was around? Yes, if they dared to come, and the gold would definitely avenge his good disciple. Those are tributes from Luo the imperial was family. Very obedient in front of Elder Chu. The second branch of the Luo family took them all. Mr. Chu also liked to hear these words in their hearts. If that was the case, most importantly, Luo Xinming was very good by what Luo Xinming said. And according to the things taken by the second branch of the Luo family, which of them were not the treasures you would feel when these account books by the major aristocratic family was very good with everyone's flattery. It could be seen honest. Luo things that were read out was not with family. She was related to the royal family might not be able to produce. Chu Lao took no matter how dignified Luo Xinming's words were. As for the fact that she left the Luo family when the Luo family thinking about it not especially after it was not that Luo Xinming's still young and her made everyone feel that their reason was not because she had provided all of it in this little bit of the righteous words that Luo Xinming had just said were completely distinct. My elder sister is my strength. It was obvious that after taking all the benefits from the Luo family, even though she had enjoyed a large Xinming bit her lips and said a clear line between as if she not as good as Luo Qingtong. She knew that the more she acted like this, gold on her the angrier Mr. Chu would be. What did she mean by establishing a family and supporting the Luo family? As everyone thought about it, they looked at Luo Xinming with disdain and pieces. Outside the Luo residence, Luo Qingtong was riding on a red horse. Luo Qingtong, her empty eyes were fixed on the Luo residence's signboard that had been blasted to pieces. She did not expect that Luo Qingtong would do such a thing. That she actually recorded all the things that she had bought from gave off an extremely sharp feeling. This woman had been guarding against her since a long time ago. Had been blasted to the ground. Couldn't help her shiver when they saw Luo in the past just to show for her. In fact, that the Luo residence's guards were about to chop the signboard most of the things that Luo Qingtong cried out in alarm from others. No, since they were gifts, there should be a list. This signboard was gifted to our young loyal to old master from Tianyu and Luo Qingtong. You can't chop it. If Luo Qingtong did not worry about it, they thought that Luo Qingtong someone would worry about it for her. That was how the account books were kept. The Tianyu branch's instructors were in charge of recruiting students. Luo Qingtong did not take it seriously and did not think of telling Luo Xinming about it. But now that she didn't have a recommendation letter from the Tianyu branch, over this body, she didn't have a spot. She naturally knew about these things. If the Tianyu branch's instructors said that she didn't meet the requirements, get away with it, wouldn't she be unable to go to the Tianyu branch, biting the hand that feeds him? They thought that Luo Qingtong wouldn't dare to make a move. She wanted Luo Xinming to spit out all the things that she had eaten before. They heard Luo Qingtong chuckle softly. All these things are recorded in the account books. So what if their Tianyu branch's instructors? You can deny it, but since these things are gifts, because the person who gave them must have kept a record, is no longer fit to be a descendant of the Luo's words blocked Luo Xinming's way of denying it. They can't hang this signboard. She was not the only one who had these things. This logic is the same even if you say it to the ends of the earth. She could easily find out the origin of any one of the things in the Tianyu branch's instructors be so unreasonable as to interfere in our Luo residence's business? But there was nothing she could do. Then I'll wait for him. She thought for a while. Let's see if he could only give up the idea of making a false accusation. As she spoke, she suddenly raised her hand. Before she could think of a way to deal with it, Luo Qingtong's voice was heard again. This word was concise and carried an extremely domineering aura. It is only right to repay one's debts. Following her command, a few of the Luo family's iron guards instantly drew their swords and since you have been expelled from the Luo family and established your own family, then return all these things. The signboard was instantly split into ungrateful people to use. How dare you! Luo Qingtong, the servant who followed Elder Chu's order to help Luo Xinming was forced by Luo Qingtong's when he heard the explosion and had no other choice. He turned around and was furious. Actions were all on the right side. The signboard that they had just hung up was given to them by Luo Qingtong in the past. Not only that, if there was no account hacked into countless pieces, they could say whatever they wanted. Miss Luo. But now the account book was there. You guys are too arrogant. If Luo Qingtong wanted to take back looked angrily at Luo Qingtong she could do and the others. But they were wary of her identity although as those the future wife of Luo Qingtong's personal belongings, so they didn't dare to act. They were still considered Luo family's belongings after entering the Luo family's treasury. Sat upright on the saddle and looked indifferently at the group of attendants wearing a uniform of Luo Xinming's words. I'm teaching a lesson to a member of the Luo clan who has been expelled from the Luo clan, and then come back and say that saving the Luo family is the right thing to do in this world as members of the Luo clan. Luo Qingtong sneered at Luo Xinming's speechless face. Is this what you call arrogance? And raised her right hand. No, this is called if you don't want to return it, I can help you. Luo Qingtong's words made everyone speechless. If the Go family is unwilling to return the Luo of a way to refuse, even we can only take them ourselves. Suddenly waved the horsewhip in her hand. Everyone, charge into the Go family. The second branch of the Luo clan has been hanging up our Luo residence's signboard one after another. Luo Qingtong wasn't here to argue. They didn't even give up after it was smashed once. She was here to embarrass Luo Xinming. Are they so poor that they can't even make a new signboard? Fine. In that case, she would smash the Go family and I naturally have to express my gratitude. Luo Qingtong, don't you dare. Luo Qingtong spoke. Luo she raised her hand and knocked on her saddle. She saw the Luo family guards charging at them. Bring up the new signboard I made for them. As she spoke, the Luo clan's guards behind her suddenly flashed out a path. A voice was heard. Chu Lao could not stand it anymore. The dazzling color of the plaque made everyone's heart beat like a drum. But after the latter appeared, one look and one could tell that this plaque cost a lot of money. Every word was related to family matters. Why was Miss Luo so generous? It was not appropriate for him to intervene. This didn't seem like her usual style of doing things. This was totally different from what he had imagined. She was either smashing or hacking. He thought that Luo Qingtong's appearance was to target Luo Xinming and bully her to the Luo manner. But at the end of the day, he realized that Luo Qingtong did bully Luo Xinming. However, but when they saw the words on the signboard, they were unable to contain themselves and burst into laughter. Even if he wanted to stand up laid on the glittering golden plaque, he could not do anything about it. The two words didn't mean much, if the person standing when they thought about Luo Qingtong's previous actions, even if they understood why she had plenty of ways to bully others. Wasn't she calling the second branch of the Luo family was different? Luo Qingtong, this person was the future wife of the fifth prince. Luo Xinming walked out of the Luo manor. As long as she was not being unreasonable, when she saw the plaque sent by Luo Qingtong, she was so angry that she trembled. Chu Lao looked at Luo Qingtong. She didn't expect Luo Qingtong to be so arrogant when she knew that she was protected by a tutor from Tianyu branch. No matter what, Xinming is your sister. Go manner. You have gone too far. What kind of plaque was this? Chu Lao thought we don't have anyone with the surname would not go too far with his words. We don't care about your plaque. However, Luo Qingtong looked at him blankly and asked, with the surname Go? Who do you think you are? Did I remember wrong? How dare you talk to me like this? That's impossible. I am dealing with my family affairs. Sat on the red horse and pondered seriously. What does it have to do with you? Then, when Elder Chu heard hands in realization, he was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Isn't your mother Go? He was? Luo
no,
Qingtong dared to talk to him like this? Look at my memory. Arrogant. She was too arrogant. Luo Qingtong looked at Luo Xinning. She was 100 times more arrogant than what your family did makes me feel like their dogs. Chu Lao was trembling with anger. It can't be helped that I've made a mistake. At this moment, Luo Xinning seized the opportunity and shouted. Besides, Luo Qingtong, since this plaque has already been made and cost me a lot of money, you can pick on me, just use it, but don't insult my teacher. Don't try to get involved with this. This is Elder Chu from the Tianyu Branch Academy. What's more, I think this plaque suits you. She raised her head arrogantly, waiting for the moment when Luo Qingtong would panic. Luo Qingtong would definitely regret it if she dared to insult the mentors of Tianyu Branch. How dare she? However, she was wrong. How dare they humiliate him in front of so many people? After hearing her words, Luo Qingtong revealed a look of realization. Luo Qingtong, she then played with the horsewhip in her hand carelessly and said, "So it's Elder Chu from Tianyu Branch." Luo Qingtong kindly reminded her, "Then he's no good. I'm the only one left of the Luo family's direct bloodline. My eyes are blind, your bloodline so I don't really recognize the clan. You suddenly spoke without telling me your name, so of course I don't know being your sister. But now I know," Qingtong said, glancing at the old man who appeared at the gate. After all, teacher from the Tianyu Branch Academy. As soon as Luo pretended not to came out, the expressions of the surrounding people instantly became extremely strange. And it was Luo Xinning who did it. Were they overthinking for them? Why did it feel like Luo Qingtong kept saying, "Not a thing," and then, "What thing?" She was obviously insulting Elder Chu from anger. But if he had to say that there was something wrong with what she said, he couldn't find anything. Was this still the Luo Qingtong? Did she have to say that Elder Chu was a thing? Even when Luo Qingtong came back from the Nine Magi Mountain, she was not this arrogant. Luo Qingtong it was as if she didn't care about and recognize people. Everyone looked at her eyes and then realized that the eldest daughter of the Luo family was blind. Luo Qingtong had always been this arrogant. Since that was the case, they couldn't accuse her of insulting Elder Chu. She didn't care about Luo Xinning. Almost everyone in Wingay's city knew that Luo Qingtong's eyes were blinded in the Nine Magi Mountain's reverse scale. It was just that her actions just now she didn't kill them, so everyone forgot about this matter for a moment. Chapter 292. What's wrong? Chapter 296. Are you so happy that you can't accept my gift? Everyone looked weird. And Mr. Chu was also I have an even bigger gift to give you. He had always been arrogant. The smile on Luo Qingtong's even in the Tianyu Empire, he was flattered. She was as beautiful not to mention in a small country like Dongli country. She made them feel cold. However, Luo Qingtong insulted him looked at her and felt a chill in her heart. Suddenly, he felt a mouthful of blood stuck in his throat. When she saw Elder Chu walking out, she calmed down. He raised his finger and pointed at Luo Qingtong. He trembled and couldn't say a word for a long time. She'll have a good time later. Luo Qingtong thought and calmed down. She couldn't see him. She took a deep breath and looked at Luo Qingtong. She scolded him in vain. This is the last time I call you elder sister. Could he find trouble with Luo Qingtong? You don't have to admit that I am from the Luo family. Even if he did, but I will not be unreasonable. Grandfather has lost his cultivation and the Luo family is in a precarious situation. Was used to doing whatever he wanted. You can't support the Luo family. Not to mention in a small country like Dongli said and raised even in the Tianyu Empire, which was covered by the veil. Who didn't flatter him respectfully. Her eyes were full of pride. Since when did he need to tell her his name? I am now a grade 4 marshal general and am valued by the Tianyu royal family and Elder Chu. Good. I will be able to support the Luo family in the future. It took Mr. Chu a long time to calm down. I know you're very upset about my achievements. Kept stroking his back and gently persuading him not to go against the Luo family. Yes, this was between her and Luo Qingtong. My father and I left the Luo family. The more she started our own family, the more aggrieved and angry Mr. Chu was. But I am thinking for the Luo family. It was he who said that he would stand up for Luo Xinning. I want to be independent so that the Luo family can have a better future. You don't need to persuade me. No matter how you humiliate me, I'll take care of this. I will not change my mind. Mr. Chu waved his hand and the glory of the Luo family. He looked maliciously in Luo Qingtong's direction. Bah, you didn't know my name before Luo Xinning could finish her words. Now you know it. The guards of the Luo family spat at her fiercely. Luo Qingtong, Xinning is my apprentice. And Ning was too shameless to say that. Is my business. If they didn't know before the truth of the matter, could say they would have been deceived by their sanctimonious appearance of being considered of the Luo clan. Good. The second son of the Luo family was really good at putting on a show. As expected of an instructor from Tianyu Academy, and now they are trying to establish themselves as the savior of the Luo family. He also dotes on his disciples. Where's your face? Luo Qingtong's flattery stunned old Master Chu and made him swallow the rest of his words. It wasn't that Luo Qingtong's words were too disgusting. What was wrong with this Luo Qingtong's words had deliberately revealed the fact that Luo Qingtong's cultivation and she was cheering for him. Right now, Mr. Chu the outside world still didn't know that old Master Luo had lost his cultivation. But even if they knew that the Luo family was being suppressed by the other aristocratic families and the royal family, they wouldn't have any special thoughts about it. I've
However,
only just accepted you as my last disciple,
fact that
and I'm
Master
already
Luo
willing
had
to help you
dissipated
repay
his
your debt.
cultivation.
In that
was
case,
what she wanted.
I won't make things difficult for
From
you.
an outsider's point of view,
I'll leave these
the
account
Luo
books
family
here.
was completely dependent on
Hand
old
over the
Master
money,
Luo,
and we'll be even.
Now that Master Luo had lost his
I won't enter the Go
cultivation,
mansion.
Luo Xinning, a promising
Don't say that
second
I'm
wife,
deliberately
had
causing trouble
established
for
her
you.
own mansion, and
Luo
Luo
Qingtong
Qingtong said
the
as she
future
leaned
wife
against
of the
the
fifth
saddle,
prince,
was disliked
she
by the
supported
royal
her
family
chin
of
with
Tianyu
one
because
hand
of
and
the
flicked
annulment
the
of
whip
the
in her
engagement.
hand with the other.
I'm
Wouldn't
very
those with
reasonable,
ulterior
aren't
motives
I?
be tempted?
You,
Luo
Mr.
Xinning
Xinning was
words
stunned
were
by the
equivalent
sudden
to
turn of
pushing
events.
grandfather Luo and the
When
entire
did he
Luo
say that he
family
would help
into a
Luo
dead end?
Xianning repay her debt?
Luo Xinning, well
he clearly
done.
wanted to say that as
The
long as
bloody
he was
light
around,
in Luo Qingtong's eyes was
and the others
piercingly
wouldn't be
cold.
able to take a single step
Through
into
her
the Luo
eyes,
mansion.
she memorized the faces of everyone present.
But when he thought about it carefully,
She knew clearly
his
who had
words did have
ulterior
that
motives,
and who had ulterior
That
motives
sentence,
towards the Luo
her business
family.
is my business,
If
Luo
interpreted
Xinning
as
wanted to
repayment
use
of a
these
debt,
people to
there
deal
was
with the
nothing
Luo
wrong with
family.
it. She
Mr.
was waiting
Chu
for
froze
these
at the
people
thought
to
of
come and
this.
see who could touch the Luo
In front
family.
of so many people,
As for Luo
Qingtong
had praised him so
Luo
highly.
Qingtong sneered.
He really couldn't
The
bring
Luo
himself
family?
to say that he didn't mean that.
Before you say these big
he
words,
could only grit his
you'd better
teeth and
return the
straighten
things
his
that I
neck.
took from you.
Okay,
Use
tell
my
me how
things
much
to
you want to
improve your
repay.
power.
Establish yourself and support the Luo family. You're quite
Chapter
shameless.
297. Teacher.
The moment Mr. Chu opened his mouth, Luo Xinning felt something was wrong. She wanted to stop him, but it was too late. Huh, Mr. Chu is indeed extraordinary. You are so generous. So domineering. Sitting on the horse, Luo Qingtong gave old Chu a thumbs up with a lazy and evil look. As for the debt, it's not much. About 4 or 5 national treasuries of Dongli country are enough. Plop. Before Luo Qingtong finished her words, Mr. Chu, who was standing in front of the gate of the Luo mansion, was about to pay off the debt and let Luo Qingtong and the others go back, lost his balance and almost fell down the stairs. How much did you say? He looked at Luo Qingtong in disbelief. 4 or 5 national treasuries of Dongli country? Why don't you rob? Mr. Chu couldn't accept it and roared. 4 or 5 national treasuries of Dongli country. Did she think they were cabbages on the side of the road? Although Dongli country was only a small inferior country, its national treasuries were equal to all the treasures of an aristocratic family of a superior country. What was more, Luo Qingtong asked for 4 or 5 national treasuries. Even if Mr. Chu had some assets in the Tianyu Empire, he was not generous enough to take out 4 or 5 national treasuries of Dongli country. What was more, whether it was a soul cultivator or a warrior, it cost a lot of money to cultivate. Mr. Chu had a lot of money, but he also spent a lot of money. How could he spend so much money for a new disciple like Luo Xinning? He was not stupid. You're simply asking for too much. His face turned red as he said. He said he would pay for Luo Xinning, but now he couldn't. This shameful behavior made Mr. Chu feel ashamed and angry. He looked at Luo Qingtong as if he wanted to eat her. He had never been so humiliated. Asking for too much? Luo Qingtong sneered. She casually picked up an account book from the ground, flipped to a page and threw it at Elder Chu. Look carefully. These are all things that Luo Xinning took away from me. Most of them were sent to me by Tianyu's royal family after the engagement. Luo Qingtong raised the horsewhip in her hand and tapped on the saddle. She looked down at Elder Chu, Luo Xinning, and the others in front of the Luo mansion. As the future 5th prince's wife, which one of the gifts from Tianyu's royal family isn't the best? Any one of them is enough to match the foundation of an aristocratic family in the eastern border country. Do you dare to say that these things are worth less than the eastern border country's national treasury? Were people from Tianyu's royal family that poor? Even the most promising and most talented 5th prince's future princess consort's things are chosen to be trash. Or do you think Dongli's treasury is richer than Tianyu's imperial treasury? 4 or 5 times the value of Dongli State's national treasury is still too little. I didn't even count the gifts from the other aristocratic families and the eastern border country's royal family. How dare you say I'm asking for too much with such sincerity? At this point, Luo Qingtong sneered. So what if she was asking for too much? Did Luo Xinning and the others dare to say no? Did they dare to say that the gifts from Tianyu's royal family were not worth that much?
Luo Qingtong didn't like Tianyu's royal family at all. But since they refused to break off the engagement, they shouldn't blame her for using their name. Chapter 298. You. Luo Qingtong's words left Elder Chu gasping for breath. He pointed a trembling finger at Luo Qingtong, but he couldn't refute her. What could he say? That the gifts from the royal family of Tianyu weren't worth that much? He was an early-stage soul king, not a soul king. Even if he was an early-stage soul king, the royal family of Tianyu would still be able to kill him. How could Elder Chu say something like that in front of so many people? But if he didn't say anything, he couldn't refute Luo Qingtong's words. He could only agree to Luo Qingtong's price. 4 or 5 times as much money as the Eastern Fence Kingdom's treasury. He couldn't take out that much money. Elder Chu couldn't back down now. Luo Qingtong had tricked him. He looked at Luo Qingtong and was so angry that his eyes were red and swollen like blood. He was furious, but he could not find a single word to refute Luo Qingtong. Luo Qingtong's words of the royal family of Tianyu were enough to kill him. Even if the royal family of Tianyu were here, they wouldn't be able to slap their own faces and say that their gifts weren't worth that much money. It seems Elder Chu can't take out that much money. Luo Qingtong looked indifferently at Elder Chu, who was so angry that his face turned purple and then green. She raised her eyebrows and said, "If so, why are you boasting? You've made me happy for nothing. But since you can't take out the money, Elder Chu, please stand aside and watch the show. You see, I've already given you a chance to repay your debt, but you can't. I have no choice but to smash this place. After all." Luo Qingtong's lips curled into an evil smile as she said word by word, "The things that the royal family of Tianyu gave me are considered as my dowry in the future. No matter what, I can't let it fall into the hands of an outsider. Don't you think so? Or does Sun Ximing want to marry in my place? Ha, that's exactly what I want. I wonder if the royal family of Tianyu is willing?" Luo Qingtong's words were a death sentence. That's right. Forget about the gifts from the aristocratic families. This gift from the royal family of Tianyu must be brought back to the Tianyu Empire as dowry. Miss Luo is right to ask for these things back. Indeed. No matter how rich Tianyu's royal family is, the future 5th prince's wife would have to make herself look good. These things would definitely be taken back in the future. There's nothing wrong with the eldest daughter of the Luo family taking it back. Speaking of which, Luo Xinming's family is really shameless. It's fine that they took other things, but why didn't they let go of the treasures given to Luo Qingtong by the royal family of Tianyu? Now you've been slapped in the face. Pfft, you guys don't know. It's said that the Luo family's eldest daughter treated her very well in the past. I'm afraid she took these things as her own. It can't be. How shameless. Exactly. The Luo family's eldest daughter was also careless in the past. If it were me, I would have told them to get lost. She even bragged that she was more powerful than the Luo family's eldest daughter. She actually dared to say such shameless words. Exactly. And the tutor of Tianyu Branch School is here to support her. She must be lying on the ground now. A group of people whispered. Elder Chu and Luo Xinming heard it and were both anxious and angry. Especially Elder Chu. He wanted to support Luo Xinming, but he lost all his face. If it were someone else, he would have taken action regardless of the consequences. But now, Luo Qingtong said she was here to take back the dowry given by the royal family of Tianyu. Could he stop her? Could he? Chapter 299. Luo Qingtong looked at their livid faces and raised her hand lazily. Guards. Smash it. Don't miss a single thing inside. Whoever dares to stop me will be going against the royal family of Tianyu. Luo Qingtong did not mind slapping Luo Xinming in the face with the name of the royal family of Tianyu. Especially since Luo Xinming claimed that she was valued by the royal family of Tianyu. Then she would use the name she valued to slap her in the face. Tutor of Tianyu Branch School? Luo Qingtong sneered at Elder Chu, who was standing beside Luo Xinning. Was he waiting for her to come and slap her in the face? Unfortunately, she would not give him the chance to do so. She did not need to use her power and strength. She had her ways to slap Luo Xinning's face so hard that even her own mother would not recognize her. Bang! The Luo family iron guards rushed into the Luo manor like wolves and tigers. The servants and guards in the Luo manor were all temporarily recruited. Even if some of them had betrayed the Luo family before, how could they compare to the Luo family iron guards who were well-trained and powerful? Apart from the fact that the Luo family iron guards were slightly weaker than the powerful battle slaves that Luo Qingtong had subdued, the other soldiers were not weak at all. Rumble. The group of people rushed into the Luo manor. The second madam of the Luo family could not stop them no matter how hard she screamed. She wanted to use force, but with her strength, she could not stop the Luo family iron guards. She was knocked to the ground in a few moves. She rolled on the ground and cried loudly. Luo Xinning stood at the gate of the Luo manor, trembling. The Luo family iron guards did not touch her at all, but she looked as if she had been ravaged. Her eyes were red. She looked up at Luo Qingtong, who was sitting on the horse. She dug her nails into her palms until they were covered in blood. Luo Qingtong. Luo Qingtong. She roared in her heart, I will not let you go. I will not let you go. Today's humiliation will be repaid with blood. Don't be smug. Don't be so smug. Luo Xinning was so angry that she almost fainted. Luo Qingtong's move was too ruthless. To Luo Xinning, Luo Qingtong's actions were like grabbing her hair, slamming her onto the ground and stomping on her face. Trampling her to death. This was the ultimate humiliation. Compared to this, the previous actions of smashing the signboard and sending the signboard with the word "Go" were nothing. What Luo Qingtong was doing now was hundreds of times more ruthless than before. Luo Xinning had always been proud and arrogant. She was never willing to admit that Luo Qingtong was stronger than her. In her opinion, Luo Qingtong was just lucky to be the first daughter of the Luo family and to have a good mother. Otherwise, how could she be so glorious? If she were in Luo Qingtong's position, she would definitely do better than her. Hence, she betrayed Luo Qingtong and betrayed her cultivation place in the Nine Magi Mountain. She destroyed her dantian and destroyed her eyes. She thought that Luo Qingtong would never be able to compare to her. However, at this moment, Luo Qingtong, who she had always looked down on and thought that she was inferior to her, was trampling on her face. She opened her residence and was in high spirits. She was even the disciple of a soul king from the Tianyu Branch Academy. She thought that she was better than Luo Qingtong. But now, she was going to bully him and wantonly humiliate him. Luo Qingtong. Luo Qingtong. Luo Xinning clenched her teeth so hard that they were bleeding. At this moment. Chapter 300. A pile of things was found by the guards of the Luo family. They poured everything on Luo Xinning from head to toe. She was in a mess. Miss, these are the personal belongings found in Sun Xinning's room. I wonder if there are any of your treasures. A Luo family iron guard commander walked past Luo Xinning coldly and reported to Luo Qingtong. Of course. Luo Qingtong had burned some of the belongings of the second branch of the Luo family when she returned to the Luo mansion. But at that time, Luo Xinning had not moved to the Luo mansion yet, so she escaped the disaster. This time, Luo Qingtong ordered the guards to search Luo Xinning's room and they found a lot of good stuff. Okay. Put all these things in the box and bring them back. Also, take off all the things she is wearing on her head and hands. Check them bit by bit. Remember, my belongings can't be missing. Make a list of the things that are missing and let her sign it. I will compensate her in the future. Hearing this, Luo Xinning raised her head and stared at Luo Qingtong with her bloodshot eyes. Luo Qingtong. You did it on purpose. She shouted in a hoarse voice. Part of the things that the second branch of the Luo family took from Luo Qingtong were burned when she came back. How could they still gather them? Judging from Luo Qingtong's words, she was going to take responsibility for the things that were burned. Luo Qingtong. Just you wait. When I enter the Tianyu Branch School and the Saint Academy of the Empire of Qin, I will not let you go. The talented students of the Tianyu Branch School had special privileges, especially those who were good enough to enter the Saint Academy of the Empire of Qin. They could even look down on the royal family of Tianyu. Luo Qingtong, just you wait. When the day comes that Luo Qingtong soars, Luo Qingtong will definitely not let her off. Haha. Didn't you come here to make a scene for the family heirloom armor and the recommendation letter? Luo Qingtong, let me tell you, you will not get them. I would rather destroy them than give them to you. Luo Xinning said to Luo Qingtong through telepathy with a twisted face. Her words were full of twisted pleasure. You are thinking too much. Looking at Luo Xinning's twisted face, Luo Qingtong smiled faintly. Don't think that everyone is like you, treating the recommendation letter as a treasure. To be honest, I don't care about the recommendation letter. Luo Xinning, you treat it as a treasure. Also, let me tell you something. You won't be able to enter the Tianyu branch. Because she would not let Luo Xinning. At the entrance exam, she would show Luo Xinning what real strength was. Just how big was the gap between them. Tianyu branch school? Luo Xinning could go in her dreams. As Luo Qingtong spoke, she straightened her body and made a gesture to the Luo family guards. Leave a group of people here to check the items. The rest of you, follow me back. Also, Luo Qingtong looked at Master Chu, who was standing outside the gate of the Luo family. She swung the horsewhip in her hand and wrapped it around his thumb. You! Master Chu thought that Luo Qingtong was going to fight with him. He did not expect the horsewhip to wrap around the jade ring on his thumb and leave. It was a gift from Luo Xinning. Master Chu, this belongs to the Luo family too. If you really like it, ask Luo Xinning to find another one for you. I can't give it to you. Luo Qingtong's words were like a slap on Master Chu's face. Slap. After Luo Qingtong left, Master Chu was so angry that he was trembling. When Luo Xinning came forward, he slapped her hard on the face. You are a disgrace to me. As he spoke, he left in a rage. Chapter 301. Teacher. Teacher. Luo Xinning covered her face, ignoring the gazes of the people around her as she hurriedly followed after old Chu. She could not lose old Chu's support, especially now that she had lost all faith in Wingaze City. Luo Qingtong came knocking on her door. First, she smashed the Luo residence's signboard. Then, she used the account book to make a clean copy of the Luo residence. Luo Xinning had no face left to speak of. Under such circumstances, if she lost old Chu's support, she would become the biggest joke in Wingaze City. At that time, everyone could use today's incident to make fun of her. Everyone could use Luo Qingtong's words to despise her. Luo Xinning could not let herself fall into such a situation. No matter what, she had to keep old Chu's support. She wanted to enter Tianyu Branch School and soar into the sky. She wanted to make Luo Qingtong regret humiliating her today. Fortunately, Luo Qingtong was too arrogant. When she humiliated her, she also offended old Chu. Luo Xinning was certain that she could push the blame to Luo Qingtong and divert old Chu's hatred away. She was not weak and was old Chu's last disciple. He would not give up on her so quickly. Therefore, Luo Xinning chased after old Chu. With Luo Xinning's departure, the drama between the Luo residents and the Luo family finally came to an end. The surrounding onlookers watched with relish. They did not expect Luo Xinning to be such a person. Many of them were deceived by her gentle and weak appearance. They did not expect the second branch of the Luo family to be so black-hearted. However, the eldest daughter of the Luo family was also fierce. She was so arrogant that she didn't even give face to the tutor of Tianyu Branch School. She humiliated Luo Xinning right in front of the tutor and made her wish she was dead. However, she must have been forced into a corner by the second branch of the Luo family and could not tolerate it anymore. Legend had it that the eldest daughter of the Luo family was like a fairy. Not only was she like a fairy, but she was also very gentle and kind. Now, it seemed that all of them had been forced by the second branch of the Luo family to become unruly and willful. However, such a young miss of the Luo family, her charm was truly incomparable. She was dressed in a bright red robe and sat upright on a red horse. Her face was beautiful and delicate like a flower. However, she was arrogant and evil, and her style was magnificent. Compared to Luo Xinning, he was many times more majestic. She was indeed the most beautiful woman in Eastern Fence. This charm, this aura. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she was the #1 beauty in the world. At this moment, Luo Qingtong, who was regarded as the most beautiful woman in the world by everyone, was looking at the 9 phoenixes flying ring on her left ring finger with a headache. Just a moment ago, she suddenly felt a ripple similar to a pulling force coming from the 9 netherworld phoenix ring. Otherwise, how could she have left so quickly? At the very least, he had to stay and admire Luo Xianning's face full of hatred and her embarrassing appearance. However, it was this fluctuation that caused her heart to palpitate. She quickly urged her horse to return. Ever since she put the ring on her finger, there had been no movement from the ring. Luo Qingtong had almost forgotten that the man had put a tracking device on her. Chapter 302. Thinking of this, Luo Qingtong's heart skipped a beat. There were so many people in this world. Didn't she just threaten and force that man? She even repaid him by saving his life later on. Why did that man keep clinging on to her and not letting her go? All right. It was also her fault that he was in danger, but hadn't she been compensating him? She even told him about the 3 most important problems in his body. Her consultation fee was very expensive. In the 24th century, when a country's president asked her to treat his illness, she had to check her mood and see if she had the time to go. How many times had she treated that man for free? Wasn't that enough to offset the previous scam? That man, the dignified Hell Venerable, did he have to be so stingy? Did he? Could it be that his huge black field was saved by being narrow-minded? Just as Luo Qingtong stared at the ring on her left ring finger gloomily, looking like she had nothing left to live for. In the black field, above the floating space city, a peerless spirit boat appeared above the floating space city. Before it got close, countless figures had already appeared above the floating space city. Welcome back, Lord. After receiving the news of Yi Qianxian's return, a group of people in the black field all lined up and came out. The 9 gates of the floating space city were all opened, and the Hell Venerable Palace was wide open to welcome the return of their lord. This brat Yi, he just came back from a trip and made such a big fuss. Looking at the shocking scene in the black field, Elder Yuelao muttered in his heart. Although he knew that this was the spontaneous action of the people in the black field and not Yi Qianxian's own intention, he was still envious and jealous. Humph. Thinking back to those days, he was also sought after wherever he went. The scene was much bigger than Brat Ye's. But now, Elder Yuelao had a headache when he thought of those people chasing after him. With his status, if he were to reveal it to the public, it would scare a group of people. He could guarantee that they would worship him as if he was their ancestor every day. But when he thought of the consequences of his identity being exposed and the news being spread out, Elder Yu shuddered and resolutely abandoned this idea. He had come to Yi Qianxian for 2 reasons. First, he was curious about the condition of his meridians. Second, he wanted to find a place to hide. This is good. He didn't want to expose his identity. Low profile, he had to keep a low profile. Exalt. A group of Black Field members looked excitedly at Yi Qianxian as he descended from the Atlas flying ship. As soon as the latter came back, he directly used thunderous methods to eliminate the Supreme Assassin Pavilion's branches in various countries. His methods were so fierce and domineering that it was truly admirable. More importantly, the Supreme Assassin Pavilion didn't even put up much of a fight. It had to be known that everyone else thought that the Supreme Assassin Pavilion was the alliance of many true Spill Continent Saint Realm powerhouses. But only the higher-ups of the Black Field knew that the background of the Supreme Assassin Pavilion was definitely not that simple. However, such an arrogant assassin organization that had been running amok recently was completely destroyed by a casual action of the Lord. The remaining forces had all gone underground. It was really shocking. The strength and influence of their exalt was really unfathomable. Yi Qianxian faintly responded and waved his hand, dispersing everyone. At this moment, Elder Yuelao happily came over. Chapter 303. You went back? There? He looked at the Shifang dragon ring in Yi Qianxian's hand. You even brought this thing out? Didn't you say that you didn't want it? Elder Yu was surprised. TSK, looks like some people are going to cry themselves to death. Why did you suddenly change your mind? He had a gossipy look on his face. He hadn't seen Yi Qianxian set foot in that place for so many years. He didn't expect him to go back and bring the Shifang dragon ring with him. Elder Yu could already imagine some people crying themselves unconscious in the toilet. It was simply too funny. But why did Yi Qianxian suddenly change his mind? The man glanced at him indifferently and didn't say anything. On the other hand, Bei Qing, who had been in high spirits ever since he came back, immediately replied happily, "This is all thanks to the evil doctor. It's all thanks to her. Master was willing to go back to that place. When he went back this time, he would feel so good about venting his anger. He fought a few fights and beat those bastards until they cried for their parents. It felt so good to relax his muscles and bones." As Bei Qing spoke happily, Feng Yu had already raised his hand to cover his eyes. Bei Qing, this silly husky. Didn't he see that Master was looking at him? Master was already very conflicted about the fact that he liked the evil doctor, but this idiot still said in front of Master that he went back to deal with those people because of the evil doctor. Even if this was the truth, a pig like you shouldn't say it in front of Master. You're so stupid. Feng Yu didn't want to look at him anymore. Who told you that I went back because of her? Yi Qianxian looked coldly at Bei Qing, who was unable to contain his joy, and inexplicably felt that the expression on his face was very annoying. How could he go back because of that woman? It was clearly those people who chased after him and angered him. Besides, even if he went back because of that woman, why was Bei Qing so happy? Did he have any thoughts about that woman? Thinking of this, Yi Qianxian's face turned cold. What does it have to do with that woman if I want to take back what belongs to me? Although he did go back because he wanted to find that woman as soon as possible. However, he would never admit to that. Am I wrong? Bei Qing's eyes widened. Did he misunderstand? But Master, when you came back. He kept rubbing the Shifang dragon ring in his hand. Wasn't it because he wanted to find the evil doctor as soon as possible? Bei Qing had just finished speaking when suddenly, ouch! Feng Yu stepped on his foot, and before he could even glare at her angrily, Feng Yu had already dragged him to Yi Qianxian to apologize. Master, I just remembered that there's something I need Bei Qing to do with me. I'll take my leave first. As he spoke, he pulled Bei Qing, who was still in a daze, and ran away. This idiot. If he stayed here any longer, he would be sent to the brothel to experience life again by Master. Yi Qianxian snorted coldly, but did not stop them. At this moment, Yuelao came up to him with interest and said, "The evil doctor? Could she be the little girl who healed your meridians? Where is she? Bring her here." Elder Yu also wanted to meet such a good seedling who was gifted by the heavens. He also wanted to see if she could really cure Yi Qianxian's injuries, or if it was just a coincidence. No one. Yi Qianxian's voice was cold. Yuelao's words hit the nail on the head. That woman was really good at running away. But this time, where could she run to? Yi Qianxian thought as he looked down at the Shifang dragon ring in his hand. Chapter 304. Why is there something wrong with the aura in your body? Elder Yu suddenly realized that there was something wrong with Yi Qianxian's aura. The last time Yi Qianxian came back, he wasn't there, so he didn't notice the situation in Yi Qianxian's body. Now that they had met face to face, he suddenly realized that Yi Qianren's aura was much stronger than before. Have the injuries in your meridians healed a little? He felt a little incredulous, and raised his hand to take the man's pulse. Yi Qianxian didn't move, and let him check the aura in his body. He came back this time to ask Elder Yu to take a look at the condition of his injuries. Ever since that woman taught him another way to circulate the power in his body, he felt that the interval between the ruptures in his meridians was a little longer. It should be because the load was lighter. Because the way that woman taught him how to circulate the power deliberately avoided the 3 weakest meridians in his body. Elder Yu didn't think of this method. How strange. Your meridians are still the same, but why is your aura so much stronger? Elder Yu looked surprised. Did that little girl do it? Apart from the evil doctor that Bei Qing mentioned, Elder Yu couldn't think of anyone else. Yes. Yi Qianxian nodded. She taught me another way to circulate the power and avoided the 3 weakest meridians in my body. Yi Qianxian told him what Luo Qingtong said, and Elder Yu was shocked. Changing the meridian circulation route? She can actually do this? Even he didn't dare to do this easily. After all, this wasn't simple. You had to be familiar with the other person's cultivation method and know the other person's meridians like the back of your hand. In addition, you had to have enough comprehension and strength to change the other person's cultivation method's circulation route without causing a backlash to the other person. Only a peerless expert who was both a medical and martial arts expert could do these things. Although Elder Yu was a divine alchemist, he didn't have such aptitude in martial arts. Not to mention, Yi Qianxian's cultivation method was not something an ordinary person could cultivate. Luo Qingtong was actually able to change the route of his power circulation. This was even more unbelievable than the Arabian Nights. However, the truth was right in front of him, and he had no choice but to believe it. She is indeed not an ordinary person. Hearing the shock in Elder Yu's words, Yi Qianxian said calmly and proudly. The woman he fancied was naturally extraordinary. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to escape from him again and again. Hey. What was with this inexplicably arrogant tone? Elder Yu rolled his eyes at him in annoyance. You're really brave. Aren't you afraid that she'll casually say that she's fooling you? You'll take the opportunity to escape and get rid of all future troubles. Changing the route of power circulation. If it was light, he would go berserk and lose all his skills. If it was serious, he would be seriously injured and die. This kid really didn't put up any defenses at all. Did he forget that he was there to capture someone? He was actually so obedient to the other party. She won't. Yi Qianxian narrowed his eyes as he listened. If that woman really wanted to hurt him, she had several chances before. Thinking of this, Yi Qianxian's mood suddenly improved. That woman really did like him, but she didn't want to admit it. Cunning. The coldness in the man's eyes lessened slightly, and the corners of his lips curled up slightly. Woman, you can't escape. Chapter 305. Windgaze City. Luo Qingtong had been on tenterhooks ever since she discovered the fluctuations on the 9 Phoenix ring. She had a feeling that the man had done something and would soon come looking for her. Luo Qingtong was really worried to death. The Luo family's current situation was inseparable. She couldn't leave the Luo family at this time. So the problem was, what should she do if the man came looking for her? Sigh, so annoying. Do you have any ideas? You're the one who caused most of this trouble. You have to take care of it. Luo Qingtong looked at Little Pig threateningly. Little Pig felt that he was wrongly accused of being the scapegoat. Although it was indeed his fault in the beginning, it was clearly this woman who kept provoking that man. That's why they got into this big trouble, okay? Why was it his fault again? He had already turned over a new leaf. If he comes looking for you, then go and seduce him. I guarantee it'll work, he suggested with a serious face. Scram. Before he could finish his words, he was hit on the head by a fried dumpling. I'm serious with you. Don't try to fool me with these words. Luo Qingtong was furious. If it weren't for this pig, how could she not get rid of that man after provoking him? I'm also serious. Little Pig said with an aggrieved face. Why was it that people didn't believe him when he spoke the truth? With that man's feelings for this woman, she didn't need to hide at all. She could have just used a honey trap. Luo Qingtong ignored him and looked at the 9 phoenix ring in her hand with furrowed brows. The fluctuations on the ring were very obvious. Even with those fake 9 phoenix rings as a cover, that man should be able to find her soon. She hoped that her arrangements could buy her some time and at least solve the Luo family's problem here. Sigh, this broken thing can't be blocked or taken off. Does that man really want to catch me and teach me a lesson? Luo Qingtong's face was gloomy, and her brows were tightly knitted together. Little Pig, who was listening from the side, flipped over and thought to himself, it's true that I want to catch you, and it's also true that I want to teach you a lesson. I just don't know what kind of lesson it is. Speaking of which, that man's intentions were so obvious that even he could tell. Why was this woman so slow? Have you ever thought that maybe he wants to catch you because he likes you? Little Pig tried to enlighten her. Think about it, this ring is obviously very expensive. It must be something very important. How can a normal tracker be so luxurious? It guided him patiently. You don't have to comfort me. Luo Qingtong rolled her eyes at it. With his status, what's wrong with taking out a good ring as a tracker? Is Blackfield short of money? Also, do you like people to be caught? Was he bullying her because she had never liked anyone before? This reason was not reliable at all. Little Pig looked up at the sky. If it liked people, of course, it wouldn't use its claws. But this woman didn't know how good she was at running. That man was also forced to do it, okay? While Little Pig was speechless, Luo Qingtong seemed to have thought of something, and the smile on her face widened. You've reminded me that this isn't an ordinary ring. That man hurriedly decided to put this ring on her, so this ring must be something precious that he always carried with him. If that's the case. While Luo Qingtong was thinking, she suddenly heard a series of bangs outside. Chapter 306. What's going on? She asked in a low voice. Her eyes were fixed on the wall in front of her. There was a pile of corpses lying in a mess. Master, someone is trespassing. The warrior who was in charge of guarding in the dark said. Those people were discovered as soon as they broke into the Luo family. Before they could do anything, these intruders, who had murderous intentions, were killed by the array that Luo Qingtong had set up in the Luo family. Okay. Luo Qingtong replied in a low voice. She glanced at the corpses and said, throw them out and hang them outside. Let people know the consequences of trespassing in the Luo family. These intruders were all covered in black cloth, making it impossible to tell where they came from. However, Luo Qingtong did not need to know where they came from. Today, Luo Xinning exposed the fact that old Master Luo had lost his cultivation. She knew that something like this would happen sooner or later. However, she did not expect those people with ulterior motives to be so impatient. They immediately sent people to test the waters. Bang, bang, bang. When Luo Qingtong's voice was heard, the sound of fighting came from the direction of old Master Luo's courtyard. Then, a shrill cry mixed with shock rang out. After that, there was no more sound. Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes and rushed into old Master Luo's courtyard. Master. There were several corpses lying in the courtyard. Each of them was strong. They were all in the great martial general realm. In Dongli country, they were considered strong. Among them, there was even an expert who had just entered the martial marquis realm. However, they were killed by the group of martial marquis realm warriors arranged by Luo Qingtong in the Luo family. They could not resist at all. Master, they are from the Dongli royal family. Someone from the Luo family came forward to check. Soon, he got the result. There were only so many experts in Dongli country. There were even fewer people who could be ranked. Moreover, there was an expert who had just entered the martial marquis realm. Compared to the group of people who died outside, there were more identifiers. The Luo clan's iron guards casually sifted through the crowd and learned of the other party's background. It was also because these people were too careless. They thought that this operation was foolproof and did not cover it up carefully. Eastern Fence royal family, Luo Qingtong narrowed her eyes. She didn't forget that when she came back, she heard the clamoring servants say that the royal family of Dongli had removed her grandfather's duty as the commander-in-chief of the army. Along the way, she heard that the Dongli royal family reprimanded old Master Luo. Clearly, Dongli's imperial family was on Tianyu's side in this battle against House Luo. Moreover, he couldn't wait any longer. Why did she think that the Luo clan was about to lose its power, and that she, the future wife of the fifth prince, was no longer favored, so she couldn't wait to make a move on the Luo clan? Now that they knew that his grandfather's cultivation had dissipated, they wanted to arrange for people to kidnap him. First, it would be easier for them to gather military power. Second, it would be easier for them to threaten him and curry favor with Tianyu's royal family. Luo Qingtong's lips curled into a blood-red smile. Luo Xinning, you put on a good show this time. You have lured all kinds of monsters out. You have saved me a lot of trouble. Hang them outside the Luo clan's gate with the previous group of people. If there are any trespassers in the future, punish them all. She didn't mind turning the square outside the Luo clan's gate into a cave of bones. Chapter 307. Early the next morning, many people were shocked by the scene outside the Luo family's gate. Looking at the corpses that were hung up, the blood that dripped down almost dyed the square in front of the Luo family's gate red. The crowd of onlookers was frightened. What's going on? The Luo clan was attacked last night? I didn't hear anything. But these corpses were hung up early in the morning. Someone whispered. The group of people looked at the skewered corpses in horror. The Luo family was really amazing when they didn't make a move. He had just destroyed the Luo manor, and now he had killed so many people. However, didn't they say that the old man of the Luo family had already lost his cultivation? Why was the Luo clan still so arrogant? Sigh. The Luo family's toughness was easily broken. Since grandfather Luo's cultivation had dissipated, they should be keeping a low profile. These people were most likely there to investigate the situation. If Grandpa Luo was fine, he would have shown himself long ago. The current situation. Sigh. Yeah. Someone chimed in. Looks like something really happened to Elder Luo. However, the Luo clan was really stubborn. They were not willing to suffer any grievances. Although they have achieved the purpose of intimidating those people by killing them, the forces behind those people will definitely not be willing to let this matter rest. Before this person could finish speaking, in an instant, the sound of hurried horse hooves suddenly came from afar. Following this, a cold yell could be heard. Get out of the way, everyone get out of the way. A group of fully armored soldiers galloped over from the front. The two people at the very front caused the crowd to exclaim in surprise. It's the Imperial Guards. The one at the front is old Master Chu. Everyone watched as the large group of people galloped and stopped at the entrance of the Luo clan. Looking at the bloody scene in the square, old Master Chu, who came with the Imperial Guards, revealed a thought-provoking expression. Old man Luo finally had a successor. Although the rest of his sons were useless, at least he had a granddaughter who could stand up to him. This method was ruthless enough. In contrast to old Master Chu's calmness, the attendant who came with him was quite frightened by the scene before him. The people of the Luo clan were too cruel. Looking at the bloody corpses hanging all over the square, then looking at the few familiar faces, the personal attendant swallowed a mouthful of saliva. But soon, when he thought of the purpose of his visit and the current situation of the Luo clan, he straightened his chest and regained his composure. Men! Knock on the door. Tell the Luo clan that the king has an order. Let them open the door and receive the decree. Upon hearing the eunuch's words, old Master Chu revealed a look of mockery. In the past, when the Luo clan was in its glory days, when did these attendants not speak softly and flatteringly when they came to deliver the decree? Now that the Luo clan had been defeated, they had become arrogant. Although this was human nature, old Master Chu had always been upright. For the sake of his political views, he was able to become enemies with the powerful old Master Luo. Naturally, he couldn't stand the way these people trampled on the weak. Even if this attitude was tacitly approved by the royal family, it would still be the same. Wait, go invite him in. He motioned to the guard beside him. Although old man Luo didn't get along with him, he had never done anything to let down the Eastern Fence Nation. The Luo clan shouldn't be treated this way because of a personal grudge with the royal family of Tianyu. Yes. The guard obeyed the order and went forward. Chapter 308. Please invite old Master Chu and his entourage in for a chat. Our Luo family welcomes guests, but we don't welcome troublemakers. Luo Qingtong's clear voice sounded from within. As she spoke, a group of Luo family guards filed out and lined up in front of the Luo family's gates. His iron-blooded and majestic aura immediately suppressed the group of imperial guards opposite him. Old Master Chu, please come in. Our young miss has already prepared good tea and wine for your arrival. As for the rest. One of the Luo family guards swept his gaze over the imperial guards and the personal attendant beside old Master Chu. He said flatly, "You're not allowed to enter." "How dare you?" The palace attendant shrieked in a shrill voice. "We're here to deliver the imperial edict. How dare you stop us from entering? Is the Luo family trying to rebel? Defying the imperial edict?" The imperial chamberlain held his head high and puffed out his chest as he looked at the Luo clan's iron guards. The Luo family was now a toothless tiger. Although they were tough now, they were grasshoppers after autumn and wouldn't be able to jump around for long. They were just trying to intimidate others with their ruthless methods so that they wouldn't dare to act rashly. But the more they acted like this, the more it proved that they were only strong on the outside but weak on the inside. Something must have happened to old Master Luo. Without this golden signboard, it would be more justifiable for the royal family to take back their military power. What was the use of Luo Qingtong's strength? In the end, her status as the future consort of the fifth prince was just a title. She was also the fifth prince's consort who wasn't favored by the royal family of Tianyu. It was already good enough that she could protect herself. Could it be that she wanted to protect the entire Luo family? With that thought in mind, the imperial chamberlain's expression became even more arrogant. "Men! Come in with me." He didn't believe that the Luo family would dare to stop him. However, just as he approached the gates of the Luo family, Luo Qingtong's cold voice sounded. "Throw them out." As he spoke, the Luo clan's iron guards made their move. Ah! The valet was instantly sent flying. He lay on the ground for a long time, unable to get up. The group of guards who had followed him to the Luo residence were also sent flying. In an instant, chaos broke out outside the gates of the Luo clan. Compared to the well-trained Luo family iron guards, the imperial guards brought by the personal attendant were like a ragtag army, unable to withstand a single blow. Ouch! The attendant howled as he shouted, "We're here to pass on a decree. Young Miss Luo, you actually dared to order them to attack us. Your Luo clan is rebelling. This is treason." "Humph. You were disrespectful to me, so I taught you a lesson. What does that have to do with the royal family?" Luo Qingtong's cold voice came from inside. "My grandfather has received special permission from the royal family and is equal to the king. How can you be so presumptuous in my Luo family? What's more, as the future wife of the fifth prince of the Tianyu Empire, the Luo family is the royal family by marriage. Or was it that the royal family was too ambitious? Did they think they were superior to the royal family of the Tianyu Empire? Hearing Luo Qingtong's words, the personal attendant trembled and didn't dare to speak anymore. He only considered the fact that Luo Qingtong, the future wife of the fifth prince, was not favored. Old Master Luo had lost his cultivation, and the Luo family was on the decline. However, he forgot that the Luo family had another identity, which was the in-laws of the Tianyu royal family. He could deal with them in secret, but acting presumptuously in public was a slap to the face of the royal family of the Tianyu Empire. Luo Qingtong could deal with them in any way she wanted. Between the Dongli royal family and the Tianyu royal family, who was more important? With that thought in mind, the attendant almost fainted from fainting. Chapter 309. Luo girl, didn't you say you wanted to invite me in for tea? Old Master Chu's voice rang out. He had come with the guard, so he couldn't just stand by and watch a member of the royal family be humiliated. After all, this concerned the dignity of the royal family. It was fine if he wasn't there, but now that he was, if he ignored it, the Dongli royal family might vent their anger on him in the future. He couldn't help but feel sad when he thought of how old Master Luo had served the country all his life, only to end up being targeted by the Dongli royal family. Old Master Luo had done countless things for the country. Although he and Old Master Luo didn't have the same political views, they couldn't deny what the other party had done. The royal family's actions were truly chilling. If they treated the Luo family like this, what would they do to those who were inferior? The royal family was too heartless. Old Master Chu's heart turned cold. At this moment, Luo Qingtong's voice rang out. Grandpa Chu, come in for a chat. All of these people, throw them out for me. If you want to pass the decree, come in with 3 kneels and 9 kowtows. If you continue to be impudent, the blood plaza outside the Luo family's gate will be your final resting place. The guard's face turned pale when he heard this, and he quickly kowtowed outside. He had come with a decree, and this decree was extremely important. If it wasn't passed on because of him, he would be killed when he returned. Around him were a group of imperial guards who were wailing in agony. The group of people came in aggressively. Other than Old Master Chu and a few others, the rest were all lying on the ground, dead or injured. The guard who had been extremely arrogant just a moment ago was kowtowing desperately at the side. The crowd sighed when they saw this. The eldest daughter of the Luo family is really powerful. Oh my God. I thought the Luo family would have no choice but to bow their heads. I didn't expect the eldest daughter of the Luo family to be so domineering. This is the true bearing of an aristocratic family. Regardless of whether it's good or bad, she maintains her arrogance. She won't be humiliated. That's right. Sigh. It's a pity that old Master Luo died too early. Otherwise, the Luo family wouldn't have fallen with the eldest daughter around. Sigh. I'm afraid the royal decree isn't a good thing. The eldest daughter of the Luo family is really too weak. Yeah. The group of people sighed. If Luo Qingtong's strength was a bit more tyrannical, then no one in the Luo clan would be able to shake her. They didn't know Luo Qingtong's true strength, otherwise, they would be extremely shocked. With Luo Qingtong in the Luo family, they would be as stable as Mount Tai. Grandpa Zhu. After welcoming Old Master Chu into the main hall of the Luo family, Luo Qingtong personally brewed tea and served it to him. Please have some tea. At this time, Luo Qingtong respected those who showed goodwill to the Luo family. Old Master Chu and Old Master Luo didn't have a good relationship in the past. But the more he acted like this, the more it showed that he had a noble character. After all, in this world, there would always be icing on the cake, but no timely help. Ah, old Luo has a great-granddaughter. In this aspect, I'm inferior to him. Old Master Chu could not help but sigh when he saw Luo Qingtong's graceful and natural movements. Her every action was neither servile nor overbearing. She was calm and composed. This old man Luo was really lucky. Grandpa Zhu, you're too kind. Luo Qingtong smiled when she heard that. Grandpa Zhu has a unique insight. You're straightforward and upright. The Chu family's foundation will definitely be smooth sailing in the future. These words were Luo Qingtong's reply to Old Master Chu's praise and also her promise to the Chu family in the future. Luo Qingtong remembered Old Master Chu's timely help. In the future, as long as the Luo family was around, the Chu family would not be in trouble. Chapter 310. Sai, you sure know how to talk. Unfortunately, I know the situation of the Chu clan. I don't know what will happen in the future. However, I'll accept your words. Lass, you're really blessed to be able to support the Luo clan in such a situation. Old Man Chu didn't understand the meaning behind Luo Qingtong's words. He sighed. Unfortunately, you can't do it alone. Old Man Chu was silent for a while. Then, he asked, did something really happen to your grandfather? This was the first time someone asked about Old Man Luo in front of Luo Qingtong. Luo Qingtong's expression didn't change. She narrowed her eyes and saw the worry in Old Man Chu's eyes. Then, she nodded, yes. There was nothing to hide. Luo Xinning had already spread the news. Most of the aristocratic families and the royal family must have received the news. They just needed to confirm it. Old Man Luo hadn't shown up for a long time. They must have already confirmed it. However, they didn't know whether Old Man Luo's cultivation was a blessing or a curse. Once Luo Qingtong successfully nursed him back to health, Old Man Luo's talent would become so great that they would be jealous of him. His future in martial arts would be different. This was an opportunity that others couldn't get even if they begged for it. Sai, I've been fighting with that old man for most of my life. I didn't expect him to meet with such a disaster at this time. Old Man Chu sighed. Luo clan's girl, I know it's inappropriate for me to say this. I might even be gloating over your misfortune. However, I've been fighting with that old man for most of my life. Even if we don't get along, I don't want to see the Luo clan fall. You should know that the royal family of Tianyu wants to deal with you. They gave the order. All the aristocratic families and the royal family of Dongli Nation responded. If you swallow your anger, you might be able to protect the Luo clan. If you insist on going against them, the entire Luo clan will be uprooted. They want you to lose your support as revenge for Old Man Luo's stubborn refusal to accept the marriage. If you're willing to listen to my advice, then bear with it for the time being and let them vent their anger. The Luo clan may suffer humiliation, but it's better than nothing, don't you think? He sighed as he looked at Luo Qingtong and said, I know these words must make you feel uncomfortable. But the girl from the Luo clan, let's take a step back. Before Old Master Chu could finish his sentence, Luo Qingtong's calm voice interrupted him. If you take a step back, others will press forward step by step and bully you to death. Grandpa Zhu, you don't have to say any more. I know you have good intentions, but my Luo family has never backed down in the face of oppression. Not when my grandfather was around. Now that I'm in charge of the Luo clan, it's even more impossible. She didn't know how to write the words forbearance in her entire life. Luo Qingtong had been arrogant all her life. No matter when she was in her prime or when she was weak, whoever wanted to deal with her had to be prepared to be ruthlessly torn off by her. Bowing to the royal family of Tianyu? So what if Old Man Luo risked his pride and stubbornness to go to Tianyu Empire to break off the marriage? If she bowed her head, what would happen to Old Man Luo's love and protection? Old Man Luo went to Tianyu Empire to break off the marriage and was suppressed. Who was it for? It was all for her. If she bowed her head, she would tear Old Man Luo's face off and throw it on the ground. Luo Qingtong would never do such a thing. Not only would she not do it, but she would also tell the world that Old Man Luo's actions were not wrong. The Luo clan would never be defeated. Whoever dared to touch the Luo clan, she would make them suffer the consequences. Chapter 311. Miss Luo, please accept the edict. The eunuch trembled with fear. At this time, he didn't dare to show off in front of Luo Qingtong. Now, he finally understood that no matter how weak the Luo family was, and no matter how unfavored Luo Qingtong, the future wife of the fifth prince, was, as long as she had this title, everyone had to bow down respectfully in front of her. So what if the royal family of Tianyu didn't like her? Could they slap themselves in the face and tell the world that anyone could bully Luo Qingtong? That's absolutely impossible. Therefore, no matter how uncomfortable the royal family of Tianyu was, outsiders knew that they wanted to deal with Luo Qingtong, so they couldn't disrespect her in public. Luo Qingtong liked the feeling of disgust. The golden name of the royal family of Tianyu was so useful, of course she would use it more. As for the dirty tricks in private, if they weren't afraid of death, they could come at her. The eunuch respectfully handed over the edict. Luo Qingtong glanced at him indifferently and raised her hand to take it. You want the tiger tally? Luo Qingtong looked at the edict in her hand and laughed. The royal family of Dongli really dared to ask for it. First, they took away grandfather Luo's responsibility as the commander of the three armies, and now they wanted the tiger tally so that they could take over the military power of the three armies. They knew that it was impossible to kidnap grandfather Luo, so they wanted to use the royal family's name to pressure and take it by force. Old Master Luo's dispersal of his cultivation gave them an excuse to take full control of the military. However, the left, middle, and right armies of Dongli were famous for being the sharp sword of the country. They were built by grandfather Luo alone. He spent a lot of time and effort to build the army of Dongli into a strong army. Among the many small countries around, Dongli's national power might not be outstanding, but its military power was first class. Grandfather Luo's prestige alone was enough to make the surrounding countries not dare to invade them. Back then, the king of Dongli held grandfather Luo's hand and cried with gratitude. Now that old Master Luo was in trouble, the royal family jumped out to take advantage of the situation. Those words from back then had probably been eaten by dogs. Luo Qingtong's voice was cold. When the eunuch heard this, he didn't even dare to raise his head. He could only shrink his neck and brace himself to say, the right to command the three armies should belong to the royal family. In the past, the king loved Marquis Zhen, so he naturally entrusted him with the country's weapons, but now that my grandfather's cultivation has dissipated, he can no longer be entrusted with important tasks. The royal family has no choice but to take back their military power. Is that what you mean? Luo Qingtong's voice was faint, but it inexplicably sent chills down people's spines. All in all this is not because the royal family covets the commander-in-chief of the three armies and can't wait to reap the benefits. Blinded by greed, they are forced to do so. Is that what you mean? Eldest miss, the attendant lowered his head deeply. Luo Qingtong's words were too blunt. She was so straightforward that she almost pointed at the royal family's nose and scolded them for being shameless. How could he dare to answer? Even if this was the truth, he wouldn't dare to say it out loud like the eldest miss of the Luo family. The royal family still cared about their reputation. Otherwise, why would they find a bunch of reasons to openly ask old Master Luo to hand over the commander-in-chief of the three armies? The continuous reprimanding from before was because of this matter. But before the royal family could find an excuse, something happened to old Master Luo. This saved them the trouble of finding other excuses. But these words couldn't be said out loud. Not only could they not say it, but they also had to do their best to cover it up and push the blame to old Master Luo and the Luo family. It would prove that old Master Luo was no longer qualified to command the three armies and they had no choice but to take over. Ha! Luo Qingtong chuckled. Grandpa Zhu, look, this is the result of my grandfather's loyalty to the country. As she spoke, she threw the decree in front of the attendant. Let's go. Take me to the three armies' martial arts arena, I will give you the tiger tally. Luo Qingtong's smile was evil. You want the tiger tally? She will give it to you. Chapter 312. Ugh. Old Master Chu and the palace servant both thought that Luo Qingtong wouldn't accept the edict. After all, her attitude was so obvious and she despised the royal family of Dongli. He was even prepared to be kicked out of the room. However, after Luo Qingtong threw the edict at him, she suddenly said such words. The palace servant looked at Luo Qingtong dumbfoundedly and couldn't react for a long time. Even when Luo Qingtong stood up and walked in front of him, he still knelt there stupidly and maintained his posture of kowtowing in fear. Obviously, he was ready to kowtow and beg for mercy. Go. Luo Qingtong's voice was indifferent. Her lotus-like skirt fluttered in the air as she took a step forward, sweeping past the imperial chamberlain. Yes. That palace attendant's face was filled with trepidation. He didn't know what Luo Qingtong meant. After the previous lesson, he didn't think that Luo Qingtong was going to compromise. He felt that Luo Qingtong's words had a deeper meaning. However, the Luo clan was declining and old Master Luo had lost his cultivation. Luo Qingtong only had the title of the future wife of Tianyu's fifth prince, but she didn't have enough cultivation to support the Luo clan. No matter how he looked at it, she couldn't stop the royal family from taking back the tiger tally. After all, the royal family had a righteous reason. Old Master Luo's accident gave them a justifiable reason to take back the tiger tally. If Luo Qingtong didn't agree, it was fine. However, the royal family of Dongli could use the name of selfishness to accuse the Luo clan of not thinking about the country. At that time, old Master Luo, who had lost his cultivation, would be forced to hand over the tiger tally. Otherwise, the royal family of Dongli would use force to take the tiger tally after a round of reprimanding. Either way, the Luo clan's reputation as a century-old family would be ruined. Thinking of this, that palace attendant felt that Luo Qingtong had probably seen through this and had no choice but to compromise. Yes. It must be like this. As the attendant thought about it, he subconsciously puffed out his chest. But at this moment, Luo Qingtong glanced at him. Although he knew that she couldn't see, he still felt an inexplicable chill in his heart. The arrogance that just rose up suddenly withered. No matter how Luo Qingtong compromised, with her identity as the future wife of the fifth prince, she could still beat him. With that thought in mind, the palace attendant instantly quieted down. When Luo Qingtong left, he trotted and followed behind her with a flattering expression. He was afraid that Luo Qingtong would kill him out of annoyance. After all, Luo Qingtong was unscrupulous. Now that the decree had been passed down, if he was really killed, then his death would have been in vain. Could they really expect the royal family of Dongli to find trouble with Luo Qingtong because of this? Thinking of this, the personal attendant instantly became well-behaved, not daring to cause any trouble, nor did he dare to show off in the slightest. Therefore, when Luo Qingtong went out, everyone saw a strange scene. The eunuch, who had been arrogant when he came to pass the edict, now followed Luo Qingtong like a pug. His careful attitude stunned many people. Didn't they say that the Luo clan was declining? The eldest daughter of the Luo clan wasn't liked by the royal family of Tianyu. Why was this palace servant so respectful to her? Could it be that the rumors were wrong? Or was the eldest daughter of the Luo clan really good at tricks? After all, they had seen the chamberlain kowtowing outside, but his expression was one of unwillingness. The group of people watched Luo Qingtong and the others leave. Chapter 313. It's the three-army practice field. What are Luo Qingtong and the others doing there? Grandfather Luo isn't here. Wait. When the eunuch was being beaten, he kept yelling that they were here to deliver a decree. Is this decree related to the three-army practice field? Damn. Is the royal family going to take back the three-army practice field? Isn't this too shameless? Someone couldn't help but yell. Yes, the three-army practice field is the result of Grandfather Luo's hard work. He built it all by himself. God knows how much resources he spent on it. Now that Grandfather Luo is in trouble, the royal family wants to take back the three-army practice field. Isn't this too much? Yes. Everyone in Dongli country knows that Grandfather Luo did everything for the three-army practice field. Because of this, the Luo family still doesn't have their own private army. Most of the Luo family's resources were given to the 3-army practice field by Grandfather Luo. Grandfather Luo contributed a lot to the current number 1 army practice field. It's too disappointing for the royal family to do this. Yes. Look at the big countries around us. The only first-class aristocratic family that doesn't have a private army is the Luo family. They are the in-laws of the Tianyu royal family. Their status is much higher than those first-class aristocratic families in the other low-level countries. But they don't have a private army. This is almost inconceivable. Sigh. Grandfather Luo's accident is the most turbulent time for the Luo family. It's fine if the royal family doesn't comfort and protect them, but they can't wait to take over the 3-army practice field. It's really shameless. Everyone couldn't help but sigh. If the Luo family had been bullying the common people and doing whatever they wanted with the 3-army practice field, perhaps these people would applaud the royal family for taking back the 3-army practice field. But the Luo family has always been conscientious. Grandfather Luo has been loyal and upright all his life. Even if he was engaged to the Tianyu royal family, he never showed off his status as the in-laws of the Tianyu royal family and never looked down on anyone. In Dongli country, from the common people to the Dongli royal family, almost all of them were indebted to Grandfather Luo. This was especially true for the royal family. The establishment of the 3 armies was entirely done by Old Master Luo himself. He had poured all his heart and soul into this weapon of the nation. Grandfather Luo's loyalty was exemplary. He never looked down on Dongli because of his marriage with Tianyu's royal family. He was loyal to the country and took root here. He wasn't arrogant or domineering at all, and he didn't let down the Eastern Fence royal family at all. He had always been respectful. Now that something had happened to the Luo clan, it ended up like this. Everyone couldn't help but sigh for the Luo clan. Sigh, I was just saying that the Luo clan was in trouble, but I didn't expect it to come so quickly. The royal family's action of kicking a man when he was down was too fast. The Luo clan is really pitiful. That's right. Especially Miss Luo, the future wife of Tianyu's 5th prince, the legitimate daughter of the Luo clan. How could she be bullied like this? The imperial family of Tianyu was too hateful. Our royal family is really too disappointing. Just because of a few words from Tianyu's royal family, they treated the Luo clan like this. Someone could not help but say angrily. That was the pillar of the Eastern Fence country. His Majesty was too short-sighted. However, those who knew the inside story knew that it wasn't the king who was short-sighted. He had been eyeing the Luo clan's military power for a long time. But because the Luo clan was backed by Tianyu's royal family, he didn't dare to be presumptuous. Now that the Luo clan had offended Tianyu's royal family by breaking off the engagement, he naturally couldn't wait to get his hands on them. From this, one could see how heartless he was. Chapter 314. At the same time, in the training field of the 3 armies. It was another day of training for the 3 armies. That was the rules set by Master Luo. Regardless of whether there was a war or not, the 3 armies had to gather on time and train in the training field to maintain their combat effectiveness. The spacious training field occupied thousands of square meters. At this moment, it was filled with people. Chenglu Wangye stood in high spirits at the place where Luo Leoa usually watched the military drill. Looking down at the scene below, he felt an indescribable sense of pride. Do you see that? The armies down there will soon belong to the royal family. After decades, the power of the royal family has fallen. Today, we can finally regain our power. He knew that King Dongli had sent someone to the Luo family to ask for the 3 armies' tiger tally. Master Luo had not appeared recently because of his illness. He had been patrolling the camp on behalf of Master Luo. However, in reality, Lord Sheng was only in charge of the defense of the royal family. He was not involved in the 3 armies at all. With his strength and military talent, he was not qualified to replace Master Luo as the head of the 3 armies. However, after old Master Luo stayed at home, the royal family of Dongli took control of the 3 military camps in the name of the country's most important treasure, which could not be easily entrusted to others. They also squeezed out the deputy commander arranged by Old Master Luo. They said that the deputy general was not qualified to lead the 3 armies. When Master Luo was not around, the royal family took over. Even a pig could see their ambition. However, without Master Luo, the 3 armies had no backbone and did not know what to do. Especially in the past few days, the news of Master Luo's martial arts dissipation was spread by Luo Xinming, which shocked the 3 armies. The royal family went from bad to worse. They dismissed the deputy commanders and generals that old Master Luo had arranged for them and replaced them with their own people. At this moment, the 3 armies had become the sole authority of the royal family. Loyalty and patriotism was the creed that Master Luo instilled in the 3 armies. Therefore, even if they saw through the royal family's actions and felt indignant, they could only endure it in silence. Without Master Luo, they had no leader. The royal family had a legitimate reason to control the 3 armies. They could not resist at all. Haha. Yes. When we get the 3 armies' tiger tally, we will congratulate Lord Cheng for becoming the new commander of the 3 armies. The Luo family has become a thing of the past. Yes, Master Luo has dissipated his martial arts. The Luo family has no successor. The command of the 3 armies must be in the hands of the royal family. Let us first congratulate 6th Prince Cheng on his grand plan. A group of people crowded around 6th Prince Cheng, flattering him with flattering expressions. Who didn't know that the Luo clan's power was already gone? Old Master Luo's cultivation had dissipated, and he had lost control of the 3 armies. Everyone's flattery made Cheng Lu Wangye feel very comfortable. The man's words made the 6th king's face darken. "Heh, you don't want to hand it over?" He sneered. Now, the Luo clan has no choice. Look at yourself in the mirror. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Chapter 315. Rumble. The sound of horse hooves on the ground was really deafening and extremely arrogant. The ground was faintly trembling. How dare you? Who is so presumptuous? Cheng Lu Wangye was still on the high platform watching the 3 armies drill. Suddenly hearing the sound of horse hooves, he was instantly furious. The place where the 3 armies were located was an important military area. All the unrelated people were not allowed to come within 300 meters of the barracks. 500 meters away, they had to dismount. This had always been the rule, even the Dongli king had to abide by it. Today's arrogant horse hooves completely broke this rule, and also broke the silence of the martial arts field. Rumble. Everyone turned their head to look in the direction of the sound of horse hooves. A majestic and tall date red horse first appeared in their sight, followed by a flame-like gorgeous color. That dazzling red was as red as the morning glow above the horizon, as red as the fire lotus that bloomed for eternity, and as beautiful as the clouds of fire floating in the sky. The brilliance of this color, its beauty, and its ability to move one's heart was truly indescribable. Everyone could only see an unparalleled jade-colored face, which was revealed on top of the flame-like beauty. It was like a floating flower that bloomed like a pistil in a wave. Luo Qingtong. Looking at the face that was more dazzling than before, Cheng Lu Wangye's face instantly became gloomy. This woman, what did she come here for? Did she want to use her identity as the future wife of the 5th Prince of Tianyu to suppress him? Humph. Unfortunately, the military power of the 3 armies was related to the righteousness of the country. Her identity as the future wife of the 5th Prince was useless. If Luo Qingtong forcibly stopped him from taking back the military power, it would be unreasonable. He could forcibly take back the military power. He could also destroy the Luo family's 100 years of reputation. Thinking of this, Cheng Lu Wangye sneered. He stood up, walked to the railing of the stand, and coldly shouted at the almost stunned soldiers at the entrance of the barracks, "What are you doing? This is the barracks, stop their horses for me." This Luo Qingtong was really looking for humiliation. She dared to ride a horse to the martial arts field. He would teach her a good lesson for the royal family and himself. Cheng Lu Wangye thought so, his tone was ruthless. After his shout, the soldiers at the entrance of the barracks quickly reacted and subconsciously set up tripwires to trip the horses. At the same time, they also pulled out their weapons and went forward. "Stop!" they were shouting. At the front, the imperial guards and the attendant were drenched in cold sweat. "This is breaking into the barracks. Miss, this. Should we dismount first?" the attendant asked Luo Qingtong in a trembling voice. The latter ignored him and continued to look ahead with a cold smile. In the next second, she pulled the reins. Just as the attendant thought that she was going to stop the horse and dismount, the date red horse under Luo Qingtong suddenly leaped into the air. "All Luo clan's iron guards, charge!" Boom! Under the command of Luo Qingtong, all the guards who followed Luo Qingtong tightened their reins and directly jumped over the heads of the soldiers who came to stop them. They crashed into the barracks gate and went straight in. "Luo Qingtong, how dare you!" Chapter 316. I'm here to deliver the tiger tally on behalf of the royal family. What's there to be presumptuous about? Luo Qingtong leads a group of Luo family's guards straight through the gate of the barracks. They directly pass through the soldiers of the three armies and stop in the middle of the square. The group of people and horses, like Moses parting the sea, forced the soldiers of the three armies to stand in line. The well-trained soldiers are forced by Luo Qingtong's biting cold momentum and involuntarily scatter to the sides, allowing her and the guards to pass through. "Luo Qingtong, how dare you quibble? Who allowed you to trespass in the barracks?" Prince Cheng shouts angrily. "Even if you are the future fifth prince's wife of the Tianyu royal family, you can't ignore the military rules of our Dongli country." "Guards," his words had just reached this point when he suddenly stopped abruptly. Below, Luo Qingtong holds a tiger roar talisman and raises it high. "I said, I'm here to deliver the tiger tally to the royal family." Luo Qingtong's voice is faint, but I think that just giving the tiger tally to the royal family is not enough to show the sincerity of our Luo family. "So, I'm here to deliver it myself." Prince Cheng, the holder of the tiger tally, can enter the barracks at will without any restrictions, so as not to delay the military plans. "Is that right?" "That's right." Prince Cheng looks greedily at the tiger tally in Luo Qingtong's hand. It takes a while for him to react to what Luo Qingtong said. He nods with a gloomy face. "Then there's no problem." Luo Qingtong plays with the tiger tally in her hand. She twirls it in her palm and plays with it. Her words are full of carelessness. "In that case, I'm not breaking the military rules, right?" "Yes." Prince Cheng's face is gloomy again. "But since the tiger tally has been delivered, you can give it to me." As he spoke, he raised his hand and was about to suck the tiger tally into his hand. "Wait." Luo Qingtong raises her hand to take back the tiger tally, making him grab the tiger tally in vain. "Sixth Prince Cheng, you are too impatient. Since I've brought the tiger tally here, I'm not going to take it back. Back then, my grandfather collected this tiger tally for the sake of the Eastern Fence country. He gathered the three armies under the wings of our Luo family." Luo Qingtong's smile was wanton and cold. "If not for the burden of the three armies, my Luo clan's private army would be much stronger. If the royal family wants to take it back, I'm more than happy to oblige. However, even though the Luo clan doesn't want this tiger talisman, the Luo clan doesn't care about it. However, there are some things that I would like to clarify." As she spoke, her empty black eyes swept across all the soldiers present. "As you can see now, my Luo clan is in trouble. Grandfather's cultivation is scattered, and he's in a precarious position. I will immediately return the authority of the three armies to the Eastern Fence royal family. From now on, you have nothing to do with the Luo clan. My grandfather is no longer your commander. But at this moment, I want to ask, if you have a choice now, How many of you are willing to stand behind the Luo clan and overcome this difficulty with us? Luo Qingtong sits on the red horse and quietly looks at the soldiers on the martial arts field. These people are indebted to her Luo clan and were trained by her grandfather. It can be said that without grandfather Luo, the three armies would not have the momentum they have today. Luo Qingtong wanted to see how many people would remember her kindness back then and be willing to use their lives to repay the Luo family in this precarious situation where the Luo family was in trouble. Chapter 317. Oh. Silly girl, you're really naive. Hearing Luo Qingtong's question, Qingliu's gloomy face instantly turned into mockery. She doesn't know what her Luo family is like now. Anyone with the slightest bit of intelligence would not choose to board that lousy ship of theirs. Now, she actually asked the soldiers of the three armies if they were willing to follow her around. Isn't this the biggest joke in the world? In the camp of the three armies, they have the best resources. These people have been trained by Luo Laoi. Would they give up such a good environment in the camp of the three armies for a cripple? Luo Qingtong asking these words is simply asking for humiliation. In the square, there's a silence. Everyone, after Luo Qingtong's words, is silent in an instant. This silence is enough to embarrass anyone, but Luo Qingtong doesn't care at all. She faintly said, "No one?" In that case. She was about to give the order, but at this moment, a general standing not far from them suddenly gritted his teeth and took a step forward. This general, Dong Yu, is willing to follow the general. With that, he tore off the totem coat of arms on his body that symbolizes the identity of the three armies. The general's kindness to me is as heavy as a mountain. This subordinate is willing to follow the general back to the Luo family and overcome the difficulties together. This general is also willing. This general is also willing. I am willing. I am also willing. I am also willing. That. Won't you think my strength is too low? After Dong Yu took the lead, one by one, the generals and soldiers stood up. Unexpectedly, those soldiers turned out to be the most numerous. On the contrary, those generals, except for Dong Yu, almost half of them didn't move. These people, cultivated by Luo Laoi, obtained today's strength and achievements, but when the Luo family was in danger, they were not willing to stand up. Luo Qingtong looked at all of this indifferently. As more and more people stood up, the bloody light in her eyes flashed slightly. Before Luo Qingtong came, she was already prepared that no one would stand up today. Because no matter how you look at it, staying in the camp of the three armies is better than going to the Luo family. But she didn't expect that so many people would stand up. Although these people, not even 1/3 of the people in the camp of the three armies. But these people, they gave up everything to follow the Luo family. Grandfather's efforts in the past were not in vain. In this world, there are not only ungrateful people. Don't know why, looking at the scene in front of her, Luo Qingtong suddenly wavered a little. In her opinion, human nature is selfish. As long as their own interests, people will not hesitate to betray and give up. What kinship, friendship, love are all bullshit. But now, these people who stood. Luo Qingtong's Luo perhaps, in her previous life, it was because her luck was too bad that she met people with bad characters. Should she try to believe in human nature? These thoughts flashed through Luo Qingtong's mind in an instant and she quickly suppressed them. Very good. You won't regret today's decision. Now, everyone who stands up, come to my side. As for the rest. Luo Qingtong's lips curved into a cold smile. Chapter 318. Strip them. Luo Qingtong's voice was cold. Strip them of everything they have. What? The soldiers in the square were shocked. Those who had decided to stand behind Luo Qingtong and the Luo family were confused. They looked at Luo Qingtong and then at their former comrades who were stunned. They didn't know what had happened. Did they mishear Miss Luo's order? Miss? Even the Luo family's guards who came with Luo Qingtong were shocked. They didn't expect Luo Qingtong to give such an order. The guards and the chamberlain who were left behind by Luo Qingtong and the others almost fell off their horses when they heard Luo Qingtong's order. Did they hear wrongly? What did Miss Luo say? Strip them of what? I said, strip them naked. Luo Qingtong waved the horsewhip in her hand. She sat upright on the date-red horse. Her aura was high-spirited, sharp and unstoppable. The young girl who had just shown weakness and said that the Luo clan was in trouble seemed to have changed into a different person. The aura around her was extremely sharp and cold. Everyone knows that the Eastern Fence Army was established by the Luo family. The Luo family doesn't have a private army. We treat the army as our sons and nephews. My grandfather has spent a lot of effort in the three armies. Whenever he got a new spiritual weapon, my grandfather used it to test it. As an inferior country, the Eastern Fence Army didn't have many resources. It was the weakest among all the small countries. It's my grandfather. The Marquis. Shamelessly, he asked the royal family of Tianyu for the best armor and equipment. Excellent weapons, high-quality armor, and exquisite food. You ate what the Luo family's disciples ate. What kind of resources my Luo clan's disciples enjoy, the outstanding members of your three armies will also enjoy. Your strength, your armor, your weapons, your medicine, all of them came from the Luo clan. Now, the three-army tiger tally must be returned to the Eastern Fence royal family. Naturally, all the gifts given by the Luo clan will be taken back. At this point, Luo Qingtong raised her delicate jade-like face. In the dazzling radiance, the layer of jade on her face seemed to be sprinkled with a layer of warm light. Under the scorching sunlight, it was indescribably dazzling. Since you no longer have anything to do with my Luo clan, then you have no right to use our Luo clan's things. In the future, the Eastern Fence Army will naturally be worshipped by the royal family. Now, strip. Hearing Luo Qingtong's order, all the iron guards of the Luo family and those who had sided with the Luo family immediately rushed towards the three armies in the square. My apologies, fellow comrades, I've offended you. The eldest young miss is right. In the past, the commander-in-chief led us. Naturally, all of our food and clothing were taken care of by the Luo family. Now, the commander-in-chief had changed. You should return everything you have on you. Dong Yu and the others looked cynical, but their hearts were indescribably refreshed. Just a moment ago, they were still feeling stifled over what had happened to Grandfather Luo and the Luo family. They stood up because they couldn't bear to see the Luo family suffer such humiliation and no one to help them. But they didn't expect Luo Qingtong to be so reckless and bold. This method was simply too much for them to handle. Chapter 319. The royal family wanted to take back the military power of the three armies? Good. Just leave them an empty shelf. Without the excellent weapons provided by the Luo family, without the good resources from the Tianyu Empire. What was the difference between the so-called three armies and the private armies of the aristocratic families? Until now, everyone knew why Luo Qingtong handed over the tiger tally so easily. It turned out that from the beginning, she had been prepared to make the Dongli royal family suffer. The other side wanted to take the army that was built by the Luo family. For this reason, they didn't care about their reputation. Once Luo Laoi was in trouble, they became aggressive. Everyone knew Sima Zhao's intention. But Luo Qingtong directly took drastic measures to deal with them. You want the tiger tally? She will give it to you. But she wanted to peel off a layer of skin from the entire three armies. Those ungrateful people who simply forgot the kindness of the Luo family and stood on the Dongli royal family's side at this time, she didn't want any of them. She only wanted to see if they had a chance to stand in this world after losing everything given by the Luo family. Luo Qingtong sneered. Luo Qingtong. How dare you? Watching the Luo family's iron guards approaching the three armies, Prince Qinglu, who was sitting on the spectator stand, couldn't hold it anymore. The blue veins on his forehead jumped, and he stood up. He never thought that Luo Qingtong would do this. Originally, he thought the tiger tally would be easy to get, and the 3 armies would be under his control. Luo Qingtong would never disobey the royal family's order to take back the tiger tally. But now, Luo Qingtong didn't disobey the royal family's order, and she did want to hand over the tiger tally. But, she wanted to take away the entire 3 armies. She didn't even let go of the things on the soldiers. Without these, would the 3 armies still be the 3 armies? Would they still be the strongest army in Dongli? He was afraid that they were not even as good as the imperial guards trained by themselves. Thinking of this, Prince Qinglu suddenly felt that something was wrong. Luo Qingtong's move was too ruthless. Without all kinds of equipment, weapons, and resources, even if they took over the 3 armies, they would only be a pile of junk. A bunch of burdens. Thinking of this, Prince Qing became anxious. Why wouldn't I dare? Luo Qingtong sat upright on the jujube red horse. She raised her eyebrows and looked at him with a wicked expression. His eyes were empty and black, and the smile on his lips was indescribably cold and mocking. I'm taking back my Luo clan's things. Dare I ask the 6th prince, what's wrong with that? Does your highness think that the Luo family will still have to serve the 3 armies like a cow or horse after the royal family has taken back the tiger tally? What's more, the responsibility of providing for the 3 armies should be borne by the national treasury. The Luo family has been loyal and righteous for so many years. Now, it's time to take them back. Luo Qingtong's words instantly made Prince Qing speechless. He couldn't find any words to refute him. Luo Qingtong's words were reasonable. Even if she spoke to the ends of the earth, no one would be able to find any fault with her. The Eastern Fence royal family wanted the tiger tally, and she gave it to them. But Luo clan's things, she wanted to take them back. After all, Luo clan didn't have the responsibility to provide for the 3 armies. No aristocratic family would use their own pockets to support the 3 armies for the country and the royal family. But, things shouldn't be like this. Prince Qingliu's heart was in disbelief. How did things become like this? Shouldn't the Luo clan obediently swallow their anger, and then hand over the tiger tally with both hands, allowing the royal family to sit on the 3 armies and become the absolute ruler of Dongli? Luo clan was weak, shouldn't they be obedient and let him and others control them? Chapter 320. 6th Prince Qing could not figure it out. Just as his expression turned ugly, the Luo family's iron guards and the soldiers of the 3 armies who had chosen to follow the Luo family approached the people who sided with the Dongli royal family. Don't come any closer. Finally, one of the generals could not stand it anymore and made a gesture of resistance. I don't care if these things belong to the Luo family or not. Now that they've given them to us, they're ours. You can't take them back. That's right. What right do you have to take back what you've given us? That's impossible. That's right. Brothers, we can't let the Luo family take advantage of us like this. These people had completely forgotten their sense of shame for the sake of their own interests. After saying such shameless words, they wanted to attack the Luo family's iron guards and the people who followed the Luo family. Who cared about the Luo family and the generals? Their own interests were the most important thing. Which one of their armors and weapons wasn't of the best quality? They would be able to suppress the other armies if they went out. Without these things, what was the difference between them and the people outside? The soldiers of the 3 armies who stayed knew very well that without these things from the Luo family, the Dongli royal family would not value them anymore. They might even treat them as trash and a burden. Moreover, they themselves couldn't bear to fall from their lofty and highly sought-after status. The reason why they betrayed the Luo family and chose to follow the royal family was that they did not want to give up the good environment and treatment in the 3 armies. They could not afford to lose the things they had on them. Not only that, the Luo family should not even think about taking away the resources in the 3 armies' barracks. With that thought in mind, these people revealed a ferocious look and prepared to attack. However, as soon as they raised their auras, they instantly dissipated. Their bodies went limp and they could not exert any strength at all. They were shocked. Before they could react, they had fallen to the ground. No matter how hard they struggled, they could not get up. What was even more frightening was that they could feel the auras in their bodies disappearing bit by bit. The disappearance was not obvious, but the feeling of it flowing away bit by bit was very torturous. They could feel their strength disappearing anytime, anywhere, but they could not do anything about it. What's going on? My strength. Ah! Someone cried out in disbelief. They lay on the ground, their faces were filled with disbelief. How could their strength? Luo Qingtong looked at this scene coldly with a bloody light in her eyes. Did these people think that she would come to the three armies' barracks without any preparation? Not only were they ungrateful, they even had the audacity to attack the Luo family's people. They were waiting for their strength to dissipate bit by bit, and they would be completely crippled. The process would be very slow, giving them enough time to regret everything they had done. 3 armies as armies? Ha! Luo Qingtong sneered faintly. How could these ungrateful people be qualified to say that they were strong? These people to them, without the support Luo family? She was not too dirty to them, she was not too dirty to kill, I have to be to it be to stop. To them all is to them, Luo halves. Ludos, are to her to stay were not twos have hats. Are to have to die. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.